So, what a week at Historicon. But there was a couple of games that I ran into that I really was shocked and really blown away by. One of them is the one that we're going to take a look at right now. It's Polyversal. You can use old miniatures that you have or the miniatures that they recommend, but you may have these laying around. But the system is very unique. It's very cool how it plays out. And I really enjoyed the explanation and taking a look at how this game works. But there's only one way to find out if you're going to like it, and that's let's go down to the table.
All right, I am here with Colin Epic War Games, Byron, and we are going to take a look at Polyversal. Byron, why don't you tell us all about this really cool looking game?
So Polyversal is a universal rule set for 6 to 15 mil miniatures. You can use any miniatures in your existing collections or any miniatures from any manufacturer out there. We don't require you to use a specific set. What we do is we give you the design tools to make these tiles for each of the models in your collection.
Oh, wow.
So you can actually stat out however you want that model to perform. For example, this Janice Walker from Hawk War Games.
Okay.
However you would like. You can customize the game in that way. Print out the piece and you have a printable you have a fully playable game piece for the game. So we also offer the system as a box set with miniatures from 5 different partners that we work with, including Hawk War Games, Brigade,
the guys that do Drop Zone
they do
Commander.
Drop Zone Commander, right? They are supplying a couple of our models. Then we've got we're also working with Plasma Blast Games, Micro Roll Games, mentioned Brigade models, Hawk, and Dark Realm miniatures. So 5 different smaller companies making really good product, and then we make the tiles for each of those models that we have in our box games.
Okay.
So out of the box, that's a little more out of the box playable for people getting into the system. They're hexagonal because they're formed together into battle groups. So when you play the game, you're going to have the option to organize these units however you would like, and that's how we also do all of our tracking and keep track of how the units perform. Everything's on the tile for what you need. And it makes it easy to quick reference this instead of doing a lot of chart lookup.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So the system, really quick, combat is very simple.
Okay.
But what we do, combat, is a single die roll of different colored polyhedral dice that are color-coded to die types. So for example, when you see a yellow, that means you pick up a D8. You see a blue, that's a D4, and so forth. So one of the key stats is effectiveness, and one of the game keys is that it's not all about destroying everything to win.
Okay.
You can suppress units to make their combat effectiveness drop and reduce, take them out of the fight and out of the battle in order to get an advantage. So let's say we want to fire let's have a missile fire from a Dragonfly VTOL. So this Dragonfly is flying along. You have the option to give it an order, which is tracked right on the tiles.
Okay.
You're going to execute that order, which is advance, which means move and fire or fire and move. So I'm going to move one of my Dragonflies into range to hit an Ares Walker from Hawk here. So that's my target.
Okay.
So looking at the 2 tiles, you have the Ares Walker here as the target. You've got the Dragonfly as the firing unit. Mm-hmm. And they each have an effectiveness value, D8 for the Dragonfly, D6 for the Ares. So what we do is we pick 3 dice to roll any combat. First is the effectiveness. Second is the range combat ability, in this case, a D10. And the third is, based on the target you're firing at and what weapon you're using, a color-coded die type as well for that. And that's going to be a D10 in this case for anti-tank fire.
And it's all color-coded for you right on the tiles.
Right.
Perfect.
So 3 dice.
Right.
You're going to roll them all together. And the first thing you're going to do is add them together. So I've got a 12 there as a sum.
Okay.
I compare that to the evasion of the target, which is 10.
Okay.
I have to exceed that evasion, which I did with the missile.
Right.
So that's a hit. So now all the results of that hit are determined already for me by the roll I just made. The damage of the weapon is medium-high, and that refers to the 3 dice. Medium-high means take the middle value for the damage. 3 is the damage for the middle value of 2, 3, and 7.
Right.
So 3 is my damage. Medium-high, medium-low tells you what to do if you have a tie.
Right.
3 being the damage is compared to the damage track of the target. In this case, right on the bottom of the target tile.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
There's no effect for 3, which is essentially taken by the armor.
Okay.
So we've just resolved a missile attack from a VTOL to a super heavy walker here, as quickly as that. One single roll. So if you have other effects, they're all listed on this damage track,
Right.
and it can be different detrimental effects to the unit. So that's a quick overview of combat, how simple it is,
Wow, that's
and it's a lot of fun. I mean, Polyversal, we've been
is
working on
just-
a long time.
yeah. I mean, I love the damage chart.
It's
where you
right
can
on the
just
top.
figure everything
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
it makes it easy to resolve
Everything
like
that
a
you need
mass
is
combat
right
like
there.
this. Right.
and it looks great.
Thanks a lot.
And then,
Yeah.
okay, so tell us where everybody can find this.
So we're in production right now. We had a successful Kickstarter for the game,
Mm-hmm.
and we really appreciate all of our Kickstarter backers and supporters that have been following along. But we're in production. We're getting ready to release the game,
Okay.
and while we're in production, we are still taking some pre-orders on the game, and you can get that through CollinsEpicWarGames.com.
All right, CollinsEpicWarGames.com to
Right.
get this. And these buildings are fantastic.
Buildings
can you get
are
these too?
The buildings are made by the Phalanx Consortium.
Oh, okay.
And they are still on pre-order. They're in production as well. And the buildings, they ran a Kickstarter for it called Neo-Tyrannus Cityscapes.
Okay.
So if you go on Kickstarter, search for Neo-Tyrannus Cityscapes.
Okay.
You'll find their Kickstarter, and you can click on the button to pre-order any of the buildings. They're really nice cityscape terrain and just skyscraper-type buildings. Work for multiple games as well.
Okay. All right, Byron, I want to thank you so much for taking some time. Let's go up top and get my final thoughts on Polyversal.
I want to thank Colin for giving us some time and showing us how Polyversal works. I think it's a great game. I have a lot of those miniature sets laying around. So for me, it kind of breathes life into some miniatures that pretty much were just kind of sitting around doing nothing. I love how it's all color-coded. I love how the morale system works. I like the beehive and how everything connects into a command group. I think it's really cool, and I think it's something that maybe some of you might like. So if you get a chance, go check it out. It's available for pre-order, and I think it's something you guys will really like, and it's something different. So once again, it is I, Rob Orrin, and until next time, I will see you soon.